Now again, today, you can just put your pencils down for a second. You don't need your iPads. You just need to watch. And like I said, there are things that I remember arguing with my math teachers, and this was one of them. I couldn't believe what he was trying to tell me. There's no way that's true. All right? Of course not. All right? I thought I would win, like most of you guys. All right? You think you know, but in fact, guess what?
You don't.
You don't. You only think you know. All right? So now let me show you why it's important. Please put your hand down and just watch. It's very clear. All right? Here we go. If I asked you what 2 to the 4th power is, most kids could reasonably say that is 16. All right? 2, 4, 8, 16. So 2 to the 4th is 16. Now again, I'm not teaching you anything you don't know. I'm just trying to show you a pattern. So all you have to do, you don't have to write it down. It's much more important to just concentrate on what I'm saying. And I'm going to do a lot of examples, so you have lots of time. So again, listen. No writing. Put your pencils down. Just pay attention. That's what I'm saying. It's hard for some of you because you think being a good student is writing as we're going. I'm saying not at this moment. Being a good student is just listen. All right? So here we go. 2 to the 3rd power is equal to what? 8. Very good. All right? Now how do we know that? 2 times 2 times 2. I got it all. Just pay attention. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. All right? Now my next question is, 2 squared is 4. I could even understand that. All right? Then the first thing that I had to kind of think about was 2 to the 1st power. All right? And then I realized math is patterns. All right? So generally the rules were created by observation. All right? So what did they observe? That from here to here, I'm dividing by 2. From here to here, I'm dividing by 2. And so, if I'm going to continue the pattern, 4 divided by 2 would be 2. So that's how they figured out anything to the 1st power, we should say it's whatever the base is. So anything to the 1st power is 2. Now, I already know you know that. All right, now I'm going to ask you another question, and some of you are going to think you know the answer, and you're going to say something without thinking, and then you're going to be wrong. All right, so I'm asking you, listen to what I'm saying. All right, because, Jack, put your calculator down. Everybody's got the calculator down. You're not working on a calculator. All right, I'm asking you now what 2 to the 0 is. All right, now of course 2 to the 0 is. Of course 2 to the 0 is. Now this is exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly what I'm talking about. Tell me. 2 to the 0. Give it a shot. Because you're thinking before you say something, which is what I wanted everybody to do. What is it? What is it? Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. You listen and you pay attention. And when you listen, what you think is true might not be true. I said you have to follow patterns. Some of you just told me that 2 divided by 2 is 0. That's what you thought. You said in your mind, as I'm going through this, I told you that what is the pattern? We're dividing by 2. So then I said to you, hey, don't be distracted by that. That goes off sometimes. Now you're missing something. I said to get from one step to the other, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're dividing by 2. So then I said, what's 2 to the 0? And everybody, 0, without doing any what? Without doing any thinking whatsoever. I tried to warn you. All right? So now, that's how they figured out that anything to the 0 power is what? 1. So now you just learned something. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So, 2 to the 0 is 1. Now I'm going to give you one more chance. I'm going to ask you another question. Before you scream out something that you'll regret, take a minute. I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to tell me what the answer is. 2 to the negative 1 is what? Did you think before you said something? What is it then? What do you think? Now, remember, disregard what he said, even if it's right. I want to know what you think. That's how you get smarter. I want to know what you think, not what you think everybody else is saying. What do you think based on what I just taught you? What do you think 2 to the negative 1 is? Say something. 2. What? What?
0.5.
What? 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 What do you think? Why are you believing that? Why? Because why? Yes, I know that. Why? What do you think? Good. Good. Come on now. Don't think what everybody else thinks. Most people are what? Wrong. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Most people are wrong. What? What is the rule? What is the rule? What did I tell you the rule is? To get from one step to the other. Stop talking. What is the rule? You divide by 2. Am I right? You're dividing by 2. So you continue the pattern. So from here to here, what did I do? From here to here, what did I do? Speak up. From here to here. From here to here. So what is this answer? No. What's in the numerator? And then, say it. But what operation? By. And 1. Yes, that's what you're supposed to say. 1/2, not 0.5. Right? That shows me what and who's thinking about it. All right? Why is it 0.5? Because does the rule change? The rule is not changing. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Math is patterns. All right? So from 1 divided by 2. That's a fraction. 1/2. Yes, those of you guys who said 0.5, I understand 0.5 is 1/2. All right? So now, let's get wild and crazy. 2 to the negative 2 is what? Now again, think before you say something. We're not supposed to be using a calculator. Tell me. 1/4. Why is it 1/4? 1/2 divided by 2 is 1/4. You got to get in the game now. All right? So 1/4. Now, 4 is the same as what number squared? Say it. Come on. 2 squared. So I want everybody to look over here and say 1/4 is the same as 2 squared. All right, so now we're going to do one more time. 2 to the negative 3 is the same as 1/8. Good job. 1/8. And 1/8 is the same as 1 over 2 cubed. So now I knew my math teacher wasn't lying to me. The reason why I knew my math teacher wasn't lying to me is because I could physically see exactly why the exponents, if they're negative, end up moving to the denominator. So you got to look up so I can explain it one more time. So you're supposed to recognize now when you have a negative exponent, does anything change with this value, whether it's positive or negative? Nothing changes. It stays the same. You got to listen. If I have a negative exponent, all I do is I move it from the numerator and put it in the what? Denominator, and then change the sign to what? Positive. So if I say 2 to the negative 2, Sean, that's the same as 1 over 2 squared. 2 to the negative 3 is the same as 1 over 2 cubed. Well, my math teacher told me, I was like, yeah, right. Who's making up that rule? That doesn't even look right. Do you agree? Doesn't look right. But because we've established this nice pattern, I can now understand why a negative exponent drops down to the denominator and becomes positive. That's what I'm hoping you can understand. All right, I'm not just creating rules up here to annoy you, like they do in English. All right, make up all kinds of rules, confuse me until this day. I don't understand. All right, but right now, math was simple for me to understand that explanation. It's simple because I can follow the patterns. And that's what I'm trying to show you. All right? So again, if you ever get stuck or if you ever forget, I would expect you to recreate this pattern so you could say, wow, negative exponents. All you do is you change them to positive and move it to the denominator. Now I'm going to show you one other thing, and then you can see how simple it is. All right? Let's say I did something crazy like saying 1 over 3 to the negative 3. What is that the same as? That is exactly correct. Thank you, Sean. 3 to the third power. So what does that mean? If it's negative in the denominator, you just move it to the what? And move it to the numerator. If it's in the numerator, you move it to the what? Denominator. So now, I'm going to make it as hard as I can. What is that the same as? Think before you say something. All right, Connor. Come on. Yes, you do know. Negative exponents. What do I do to negative exponents? You what to exponents? No one's asking anybody but Connor. Look back here. This was 3 to the negative 3. So what did I do to it? I moved it to the top. If there was a negative, I moved it where? If it was on the top, I moved it to the... You have to say that to yourself. If you have a negative exponent, it must be moved. It must be moved. So now, this x to the negative 3 is going to go where? Shh. To the bottom. That wasn't that hard. And then y to the negative 4 is going to go where? To the top. Now, when I move them, what do I have to do to the signs? Connor, what do I do to the signs probably? You make them positive. That was simple, simple, simple. That's the rule. And like I said, I to this day, I don't understand why anybody has trouble with the rule. And I didn't say anything about multiplying.
I'm sorry.
We have exponents. When the exponents are negative, if they're in the numerator, you put them in the what? Denominator. If it's in the denominator, you put it in the what? It's that easy. It's that easy. Now, one last thing before we do the homework. We're going to talk about it. I got 50 problems here. You trust me.
No, the rule.
I know you're talking about the rule. Trust me. I know what you're thinking. Just pay attention. All right, don't write the rule because the rule is known now. All right, I'll show you more examples in a minute. All right, stop. You are not trusting me. Stop and listen. Just listen. All right, one more problem. 3x to the negative 5. Somebody tell me what 3x to the negative 5 is. You got to think first. You got to think first. What are you talking about? I have no idea where that came from. We're talking about negative exponents. Hey, we're talking about negative exponents. What? Don't shake your head like that. He said something. I'm proud of him for saying something. And he's not even mad at me like he used to be when I tell him he's wrong. You have to think. What is that? What are you thinking? What could that be? I can't. Give me a number. What is that? Simplify that for me. What is that going to be? I have no idea where you're getting 15. Tell me. Here's what you just said. Here's what you said. I know what you mean, but that's not what you said. You said 3x over 5. That's what you said. What is it?
3, and then it's 3 over x and then positive 5.
You are awesome. Thank you. 3 over x to the 5th. All right, now, you guys, boys, think about it. I know what you meant, right? I know what you meant. That's what I was trying to tell you. Shh. No, nothing. Concentrate with me. I know what you meant, but what you said, you right? Okay, so listen, Tucker, get your head up. Come on. I mean that for you guys too. All right. What has a negative exponent? The x does. Does the 3 have a negative exponent?
No.
Now, what is 3's exponent? What's 3's exponent? A 1. It's an imaginary 1 there. Right? So the only thing that has a negative exponent is the what? X. So that has a negative exponent, so that has to move. Does the 3 move? No. That's why it is 3 over what? X to the 5th. That's what it is. All right? Now that you paid attention perfectly. All right, now I'm going to see if what I said made sense. I'm going to go around the room. We're going to start right up here, and we're going to go this way, right around the room, and everybody's going to give it a shot. Please pay attention. And now is the time, Tucker, if you don't know something, you speak up. Now is the time, Xavier, if you don't know something, you speak up. You hear what I'm saying? Don't wait until I get to question 15 and you say I don't know what you're doing. You hear me? I mean that. What?
So for that question, because it looks like 3 times negative. Is it, how do you pronounce that question?
That is 3x to the negative 5th power. That's an x. In math now, we're never going to use an x as multiplication, ever. Ever. No, we're not going to do a dot. It's going to be in parentheses, or it's going to be written just like this. There's no operation. There's no operation. It always means what? Multiplication. Exactly.
Yeah, so I was going to say is my problem is I thought the x was the multiplication.
Now, we don't, it's okay, totally okay. All right, and now, because you're not listening, we're working on exponents. All right? Okay, Sienna, number 1, what is the answer?
Wait, no. 36.
Not even close. Not even close. No calculator. No calculators. No calculators. It's too easy for us. If you have a negative exponent, Sienna, what are we supposed to do with negative exponents? So all of these problems up here, right? 6 to the negative 2, Sienna. It has a negative exponent. You move it to the denominator. So that would be 1 over 6 squared. That's the answer. 1 over 6 squared. Has a negative exponent, you just move it. What? Here we go. Brooke, next. Perfect. That's what I want. You move the whole negative 2 down. Now we're working. Now your pencils are in your hand, and we're doing the problems. We're doing your homework. Now, you're supposed to be writing number 2 before she tells me the answer, so you can see if you've learned something. Just like on number 3, everybody's supposed to do the answer for number 3 before Miss Johnson tells you what the answer is. You're supposed to have it on your paper. Then you can see if you've learned something today without me actually telling you what the answer is. Go. You are amazing. 1 over x to the 5th. Right? Tell me.
This is what I was trying to talk about earlier. Is I don't understand why we would put it over. Like, I don't understand.
I know. So honestly, and I'm not, you know how much I'm trying to get you involved.
Yeah.
So I don't want you upset. This is what we did all class period.
I know. I understand the divide by 2, divide by 2. I don't understand that.
So all we're doing, instead of using numbers, we're using variables sometimes. That's it. That's it. Now come on. Keep asking. You understand me?
Yeah.
I don't want you feeling like you're not asking me. All right, but that's why I'm trying to tell some of you guys. No daydreaming. If you daydream, you get behind. That's what I'm telling you. And I'm not saying you're daydreaming. I'm saying, right? Pay attention 100%. It's not a gene. No one in here is like math deficient. No one.
And so basically for number one is 6 power, that would be, and like the other one, that would be 1 over.
Now, because this has a negative exponent, we just dropped it down to the denominator. That's it. That's it. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to write the answer to number 4 on your paper, and she's going to tell you if you're right. Because Bella's always right. What does it equal?
1 over b to the second power.
Is that what you have? Then you know what you're doing. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Then you know. Stop. No explanations. That means you know what you're doing. And I am a great math teacher.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Shh, I'm kidding. Here we go. All right, now listen. Here we go. Now we're going backwards. Now they're trying to see if you understand, well, if I told you to write it as a negative exponent, here we go. So number 5, I would want you to write as, yay, 2 to the negative 6. I feel good. Oh, this is good. I like that response. That is?
It's 8.
Yes, it feels good. 8 to... No. Because, hey, you're already talking, you're interrupting my explanation. Here, they said write it as a what? Positive exponent. Here, they said write it as a what? Yeah, part of the directions, right? All right, come on now. Here we go. Tell me, Tucker, you're up.
1 over 9, that's gonna be 9 and 1 and positive 1. That's the exponent.
Shh, don't. Did you move it? So look at question number 6. Shh, don't.
Oh, it's just 9.
To the,
Exponent of 1.
look at number 6.
It's just 9.
I'm asking you to look at number 6.
I
It's 8 squared. So the correct answer is 8 to the negative 2. If you move it from the denominator to the numerator, you change the exponent. So what does this exponent have on number 7? 9 to what power?
9 to the 0.
Nope.
I have no
Anything to
idea.
the 0. Yes, you do, because I talked about it. What power is it?
To the negative 1.
Thank you. It's 9 to the negative 1. That's what I'm talking about.
It says
Now, no. Don't interrupt me.
How would it be?
I'm telling you right now. I want you to listen. If there's no exponent, you can always write to the first power. You with me? Right? So now, if I move this up, it's going to be what?
9 to the negative 1.
Exactly. Come on, Tucker. Don't give up on me now. 9 to the negative 1. Now you're going to look at number 8, and you're going to write down 8, and he's going to tell you what the answer is. You write it down, and then he's going to tell you. Go. Wow, it feels good, right? Pay attention. You get the right answers. That's what I'm trying to tell some of you guys. Uh-oh, I got problems over here. What?
But the directions say not to do that.
Yeah, I know that. We're going to get to it. I'm going to show you something now.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, though, very much. I appreciate that. All right. If you wrote this on the test as 9 to the negative 1 and 36 to the negative 1, I wouldn't care. All right. What is the matter with you? I know, because you've just been throwing a fit and you haven't been listening. Okay? That's exactly why. So now stop, concentrate. I'm going to explain it. All right? You hear me? All right. Now we're back here. 9. Can you tell me what number squared is 9? Yes.
3 squared.
3 squared is 9. So this is what they're trying to tell you. 9 can also be written as 1 over 3 squared. So now, how can I write 1 over 3 squared? That could
3 and a negative 2.
Yeah, now you're with me. Feels good. All right, 3 to the negative 2. Does everybody agree that these two things are exactly the same? 9 to the negative 1 is exactly the same as 3 to the negative 2. Jack, are you okay with? Thank you very much. I told you. All right. So 36 is what squared?
18 squared.
That's 18 times 2. 6 squared is 36 because 6 times 6, right? Don't worry, right? So now 1 over 6 squared is the same as? No.
36.
No, I'm trying to move this to a negative exponent. Come on, just relax. So what would that be as a negative exponent? There you go. 6 to the negative 2. Be patient. Be patient. 6 to the negative 2. What?
Yeah, that was going to be my question earlier, like how, because they said it's other than 1.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. I promise you, I'm getting there. I promise you, I'm not going to lead you in the wrong direction. I just don't think that's a good question. I think it's kind of silly. All right, that's not going to be on the test. Because if you wrote 36 to the negative 1, I'm happy. If you wrote 9 to the negative 1, I'm happy. If you wrote 3 to the negative 2, it's the same thing. Okay? All right. Now, I don't care about the word problem. All right, here we go. Jensen, let's go. Tell me first, I don't want you to look at the number. I just want you to tell me, what is y to the negative 7?
1 over y to the power of 7.
Yes, everybody's got to write that down. 1 over y to the 7. Everybody's going to write 1 over y to the 7. Now, what is y in this case?
2.
Right? So now we have 1 over 2 to the 7th. Now watch, please. Quick demonstration. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. You don't need a calculator for that. All right? So that's the same as 1 over 128. Now, everybody take your calculator out and do 2 to the negative 7. And then tell me what the answer is. What? 1 over 128. Does everybody agree with that? No, you got the wrong answer if you didn't get 1 over 128. Simple as that. No, you guys, stop. Listen to me. If you didn't get 1 over 128, then you are what?
Wrong.
Then you're wrong. It's just that simple. I'm not going to put something incorrect up here. So if you didn't get it, type it in again and get some practice in. 2 to the negative 7. 2 to the negative 7.
I thought 0.0078.
Fraction of decimal.
Correct to a fraction. That is a what? Decimal. Come on. All right, here we go. What does x to the negative 3 mean? Eve.
Is 1 and negative
1 over.
over negative 4 to the third.
Yes. I actually wanted you to just write 1 over x cubed, but that's okay. All right, but that's okay. 1 over negative 4 to the third power. I really don't think it's necessary for you to do on your calculator 4 to the third. I think everybody should be able to say 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. If you can't do that, you got to work on your math facts. All right? You need to work on your math facts. So that is the same as negative 1 over 64. All right? Is everybody okay with that? Come on now. That's what I mean about daydreaming. Stay with me. All right, I know. What? Tell me.
My calculator on the number 10, it just did 128. But 1.
I want you to do on your calculator 2 carats There's a negative button, not a minus button.
Yeah, I have the negative.
7 equals,
Oh, point.
and then math, or turn it to a fraction.
How do you do that?
I've been on this for a long time. Fraction and decimal. That button. Second button. You hit that button. Fraction and decimal. That's all the fractions. Right? Yeah. Come on, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be a better math student, you got to listen better. Simple as that, right? Yes. If you want to be better, you got to listen better. That's the whole point. All right? You're up. I'm on. Okay, guys, listen, I don't care about the 2 little word problems down there. I posted the answers. Please review. All right? I promise you. All right? Practice. All right? Some of them you can use your calculator on. They're big numbers. All right? I'm okay with that. But the main thing is you understand negative exponents. All right? Better listening. I need better listening from some, and you'll get better, I promise. That's the whole key, is listening. All right? What?
It's like just 1 through 40, but no word problems.
Yes, 1 through 40, no word problems. Okay.